Earlier in November, I polled my Instagram following to see which Lord Olympus cosplay they would like to see me complete next, and they all voted for Modern Persephone. I finally had the opportunity to actually break out my new, or at least new to me, crafting table. I'd gotten this on clearance at a thrift store this summer for $40, which is a steal because they normally retail for at least $150. It's a little fun to navigate through my house, but also makes fabric cutting so much easier, which you'll see here, despite the various assortment of random items that I found to hold down said sewing pattern. This is a Bodycon sewing pattern that I had got from Etsy, and I'll be glad to link the information in the description box. Next up, although I didn't actually film myself obtaining the fabric from Joann from their activewear section, I did film myself sewing the entire dress on Facebook Live. I will admit I had a very short time frame to get everything finished. I needed to move quickly to make sure that everything was sewn and completed first, then photo shoot ready, have said photo shoot, allowing the photographer time to get photos edited and back to me, and then get those submitted to the super secret, super special recipient. All in all, this took about a week, and normally I wouldn't go that fast, but we all know that I thrive under pressure. Anyhow, going back to that thrift store that I mentioned, I actually found 2 bed sheets that I wanted to convert into a cloak. This is also another sewing pattern that I obtained from Etsy. I did make some length modifications to it because I wanted my cloak, cape, whatever little thing, to come down to mid-thigh. But for being a newly crowned master level cosplayer, everything came out really neat. I also did take the time to make some gloves, and you'll see those in this snapshot here, but I filmed those in a separate video so you can follow that tutorial. Next up, it's really hard to find white shoes in a size 10 in November, so I had some random heels that I've never worn that I bought from Amazon just sitting in a bin somewhere. Dug them out, stripped them down with some acetone, and painted them with Angelus leather paint. Next up, we have the Epic Cosplay wigs, the Chronos style in raspberry pink. I didn't want to actually sit there with a flat iron this time, so with the advice of one of my favorite drag queen friends, I actually attempted to steam a wig. I struggled at first because there wasn't necessarily an adequate time frame for how long it is that you're supposed to steam it. Some of it you just kind of go by feel, such as when the bag starts to drip or the top of the bag is hot. But with my friend, hi Luna, she advised that 10 minutes is actually the perfect time. This also is because technically synthetic hair is just a different form of plastic, so as long as you get it hot enough, it'll bend or curl however it is that you'd like. Of course, be careful not to get it too hot and burn it, and be very safe as you do so. I did load down the curls with some Got2b spray to keep them intact. Last up, those gloves that you saw, I did have to dye those with some red synthetic dye. The perfect pink for Persephone, for me at least, is about a tablespoon of the hot pink synthetic dye and about a quarter of a teaspoon of red. The polyester fibers in the gloves doesn't actually accept color as well as the nylon tights do, so that's why you'll see that there's a little bit of a difference between the gloves being lighter and the tights being darker. It wound up taking me 2 color baths with that exact pink proportion and formula that I gave you earlier to get the payoff that I needed. And although I didn't actually film making the blue flower crown headband, the application of the flowers to the headband is still the same as what I featured in my zip tie crown videos. Last but not least, the face paint. This took about 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I do use exclusively Maron Paradise. And now you are going to see the final look. I was very pleased with how everything came out, and again, I can't wait to show you the professional pictures, although the snapshots that you're going to see at the very end were graciously captured by my teenage son. He's actually really cool with photography here and there. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and support as always, and I hope to see you in a future video. Take care.